Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Cleveland Browns halftime show with the halftime score. The Cleveland Browns 16 and the New York Jets kind of 3. How's everybody doing today? Well, as usual, I have some things that I have to say. And the first one goes something like this. Can we eliminate all these selfish prick hero ball athletes and sit Myles Garrett down until he learns how to play team football? Here's the bottom line, folks. I mean, you could have gotten the ball early and in field position twice. He directly helped them score their only 3 points of the half by committing a selfish personal foul, and he's done it twice in the game. And I don't get it. Jumping off sides, trying to prove to Greg Williams that what he said in the press was true. We got no time for this in Cleveland. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if this is the high-octane offense that we were talking about that Monken brought, these receivers really aren't open, and it just doesn't look like it's in sync to me, right? It just doesn't look like it's in sync. And plus, Myles Garrett committed a penalty that injured a quarterback. Now, that was a bad break that he fell on his ankle. Yeah, but I mean, this driving with the weight down, when they tell you not to do it, you don't do it. All right. With that said, what is the good thing about this? Well, we're winning 16-3. Austin Seibert, excellent. But scoring 3s instead of 7s, not so good. I'd like to see touchdowns. Red zone, ineffective. Again, we're having problems this year in these offensive sets. Chubb is not getting the ball in his hands often enough, and he should be used as a receiver. He's got good hands, and he did catch a good pass, and he made a great run, but still way too much pass to run volume as far as ratio is concerned. It's out of sync. And I don't understand. And you're right, Kawaki. Baker does seem to have some miscommunication, with these receivers. They're not on the same page. I'm sorry you can't watch the game, Mr. Fergus. It's not that bad. Don't get me wrong. And you're right, Jake. It should be 23-0. You got to put up 7s instead of 3s. You controlled field position. You've got everything you could have possibly wanted. You got their 8th string quarterback in. I don't know. I'm not impressed. It's good that the defensive line, for the most part, has stopped Le'Veon Bell, except for the one drive. But that was fueled, I think, more than anything by idiot Myles Garrett, who should sit down. Did I mention that earlier? I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to be this, I want to look like this. Shut the fuck up and play football. And you got a team around you, for God's sakes. And this is very true. This is what we talked about last week. He's forcing things into cover 2 defensive schemes, and it's a huge mistake. He's going to get intercepted again. And this is very true, too. Running a simplified offense that everybody understood, we looked a whole lot better. So what does it mean? It means right now that the offense that we're running is not particularly in sync. And I don't see Jarvis Landry that we saw at the end of the half. He caught a big pass, but we're not seeing him being utilized that much. And of course, Rashard Higgins is injured, and that's a favorite target. Ratley caught a pass. That's nice. Njoku he's in la la land right now after getting hung out to dry on a pass. And God only knows, Pharaoh Brown is like, which way am I running? We got, and I do think that there is some interesting issues about Baker Mayfield seeing the field. In this offense, for some reason, he's having difficulty, and he actually looked like a short quarterback getting passes knocked down. I think from their perspective, the Jets defense is doing as well as it can, seeing as how it's not getting any help from its offense. The Jets will get the ball to begin the second half, and they're going to continue to try to move the chains. I think they're going to be throwing more timing patterns like the one that was open toward the end of the second quarter that the guy flat out dropped. Just a lot of 3 steps, not going into 5-step drops, because obviously the pressure and the number of reads are going to be limited that their quarterback can do. And Greg Robinson's holding again, so he's not the answer at left tackle, and he's signed a 1-year deal, and the Browns are going to have to do something about that as well. And obviously this is as true can be. We sit there, and I'm sitting there watching the Ravens play, and Andrews catching everything in sight, and we don't have a tight end. I think that's right, Brian. They're bringing pressure in his face. Baker's going to be more effective if he rolls. If there are some boots, and he's got to get rid of the ball quicker, and he's got to find his check down men. We keep saying it over and over again, but all these guys are trying to play hero ball to live up to press clippings. I don't really think it's what anybody, Mark, wants to see from the Browns this year. I think more than anything else, we have to play within ourselves, and we just, we can't continue to just decide that every play is a big play. It's almost video game-ish in nature. There could be a lot of reasons for this. Maybe the offense doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't know. But he looks like a different guy, doesn't he? He just looks like a different guy. Pat brings up a good point. And I think that's true. If you keep him contained in the pocket and put pressure up the middle, and the problem with the Browns is they don't have a good offensive line. And this is going to really come back to haunt us. If you force him in the pocket, he can step up and throw the ball if he has a passing lane. But, he is only 6 foot tall, stretching, he's at. It is kind of like Tecmo Super Bowl. It's kind of like you're looking for the big play, and it's just not there. It's too early to say that it's a sophomore jinx. It's his second offense in 2 years, and he played a simplified version of an offense that he understood last year. But right now, it doesn't look like anyone is really up to speed on this particular offense. And we know the right side sucks. The offensive line, a lot of the way that Baker made plays last year was when he broke containment. And, he had Odell Beckham wide open and sailed the ball over his head. It's just not like the same quarterback we saw last year. He doesn't look definitive, and he doesn't look confident. And I think that's a problem. And Kawaki, you're absolutely right. We're on pace for 10 more penalties. And if this is what Freddie talked to them about, they're not listening to him. Myles Garrett is not listening to him. At some point, you got to be serious here, and you got to say to people, hey, look, I'm not going to play your ass if you continue to be selfish. With that said, there are some people, it's hard to say in the secondary anything because nothing's going down the field. But like I said, for the most part, with the exception of about 4 runs in their one drive, we've been stopping the running game, and they've been helping us out with an inordinate number of penalties. OBJ obviously stayed down, and I don't like it when a guy tries to get up and collapses. I don't know what the problem is. We're going to find out. Right now, Rick, this isn't going to get it done, period. For as many 3-point field goals that we've settled for, it's a 16-3 game, 1 pick six, and they're within a touchdown. I don't mean to be overly negative, but you got to take opportunities when they're in front of you. And like I said, Austin Seibert has done a great job, and we're fortunate that he's making these field goals. And the Rams are are a much better team. Let's just put it that way. Uh, and I think this is very true too. If we come out and give this kind of effort, and unfortunately, I'm seeing this as an offensive problem. I'm not just seeing this as a beginning of the year kind of thing. I think Alec puts it as good as anybody. Right now, they're a team of individuals, and they don't have that cohesive, I'm going to do this for the team kind of attitude. The Ravens will kick our ass because they're playing selfless football and they're playing within themselves. They're not trying to do things they can't do. They have an excellent goal line defense. Anything that's with, in the red zone, they hold you to 3 and they make the most out of their opportunities by holding onto the ball and not making mistakes. So running clock. It isn't just Baker that needs to step up. It's the receivers have to beat their men and man-to-man coverages, and Baker has to recognize zone coverages. And so far, he's not recognizing zone coverages. On 3 occasions in the first half that I counted, he threw directly into a zone and was very fortunate that he didn't get picked. You can't do that. You have to recognize the difference between a man and a zone. And it's, and Ron, take a bow. My prediction was 27-13 in this game. We'll see. We're about halfway to the 27. We've got to come out, make a defensive stand, get our hands on the ball, get field position, and get it into the goddamn end zone. I don't like this. We get the ball first and goal at the 4. We try one running play, and then I don't know what in the hell we do. I was amazed that we didn't try a fade. At the time, Njoku was healthy. Play a little jump ball. So the second half is starting. So everybody, I'm going to be back after the game. This I promise you. And let's hope for a really solid second half from the Browns. We can go back home 1-1 with at least delusions or illusions of being a better football team. I will see you after the game. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Bye-bye now.